great turnout today, very happy. Life's good. Loose Women's just a huge success story for you, Denise.
I know it is, and to be honest, it's because of the success of Loose Women, which is why I'm here today, to be honest, because there's such a hunger for information about us at the minute. One of our favourite quotes was, "Are Denise Welch, Carl McGiffin and Jane McDonald becoming the Kate, Sienna and Jordan of the old birds?"
But a lot of people do relate to what you are, really. You've done so many things in your time which are a bit outrageous, a bit naughty, and they switch on and they can obviously identify a lot in you. Is that why you're so popular, do you think?
I think so. I mean, obviously, Paul, for everybody that likes me, there's people who don't. You know, I mean, we're all a bit like Marmite on there. People have their own favourite foursome, and every foursome has a different dynamic. But I think that when I decided to do this book, that it had to be warts and all, otherwise people would have been disappointed, you know what I mean? Because I think that they expect me to be quite open. I'm not very good at self-editing. My husband does call me Gob of the Tyne at the end of the day.
Carol McGiffin, got a great relationship, great friendship. If there's a party going on, you two are out there the following morning in the Sun or the Star. Or,
I know.
Yeah, you have a great time together.
We do, but to be honest, it does look like we do that all the time. Do you know what I mean? We hadn't been out for about 3 months, but we did go out last Monday, and I, lived to tell the tale the next day. Albeit had a bit of a bad head. So I'm trying to sort of toe the line and be a little bit better behaved, but I will still always be now and again falling out of a nightclub with Carol McGiffin, and I intend to do that till I pop me clogs.
That's the way to do it. Tell us about two of the items which I remember well on Loose Women. Was the one particularly where the serenade with Tim when he was singing that song. Do you remember that one? And
Have I told you lately that I love you? Yes.
Memories of that?
Well, I knew that he was going to come on because it was Valentine's Day, so I thought he was going to come on with a birthday cake or something. And then just before, I heard that in my earpiece, I heard the producer say something, and I leant to Colleen so the audience couldn't hear me and said, "If he comes on with a rose between his bum cheeks or something like that, I'm going to top myself." So luckily it wasn't that, but and he sang to me, and it was really romantic. I mean, it was very sweet. So I do remember that as one of the fonder memories. I preferred him coming on and doing that than when he came on last year with just his underpants on and stood next to the two fit male models.
Remember that one well. That was my next question. Whilst you're home, Sunday for Sammy's been a massive success over the years, hasn't it? And continues to do so. Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, the thing is, what we're doing is we're trying to create opportunities for young people and giving them a start when they're from a background like Sammy was. I mean, the concerts, I mean, we could sell them out 10 times over, do you know what I mean? In fact, Tim and Matthew, my son Matthew, is now going on the board, and they're actually doing some of the auditions as we speak for the young kids. And it's been so fantastic to get phone calls saying, "Oh, turn on the telly, one of the Dorothys is Emma, who you gave the grant to," or, there's a band called Little Comets, they were called Stuffer at the time. And it's just given people a leg up, not just in the, if they want to be a writer, if they want to go to drama school, because there's no grant situation anymore, Paul. When I went to drama school, I was lucky enough that Durham Council were giving arts grants. We get so many letters from kids who've been accepted, but they just can't afford to go. So it's just been able to give them a leg up.
And what about the recent event for you, which was with the Variety Club of Great Britain, which was fantastic for you and Tim, and the honour you got and the reception, and the amount of money that was raised for charity to put buses on the road in the North East for children, underprivileged children? It must have been really special for you that day.
Well, it is really special. I mean, we've always been supporters of many, obviously, local charities, and particularly the Variety Club, which do a brilliant job. So we went to Mark Knopfler's Silver Heart Tribute, and then Tim went to Sting's Silver Heart Tribute, never thinking that a year later we would be at our own. I think we were the first couple to be given the honour. And what was such a highlight of the day, apart from people like, well, all our friends being there, but with Sir Bobby Robson, it was one of his last public appearances. So that's really etched on our hearts, and it was a fantastic day, and we're very proud. To be honoured in your hometown is really special.
Back to the book, just tell us a bit more about it. I was interested to read about the tough times. It has been a bit of a roller coaster for you. It's certainly been a roller coaster for you. How did you manage with depression? How did you talk about that in the book? How did you manage to overcome that?
Well, I haven't really overcome it, to be honest. I mean, I do say towards the end that, I'm better than I have been in 21 years because I found this guy, Professor John Studd, about 3 years ago, who accepted that the origin of my illness, which was postnatal, was hormonal. And I've been trying to battle against medics for years. And so he's treating me hormonally, which is how I should have been treated, with estrogen. So I feel it still comes back to bite me on the bottom and says I'm still here lurking. So I have to try and meet it halfway as much as I can, even though sometimes it's completely out of my hands. And so one of the most important areas for me of the book when I was asked to do it was that one of the main arcs of the book was my battle with depression. But I don't want people to think the book is depressing, because it's far from it. It does catalogue some of my darker times, but also I've had many highs, and there's lots of my growing up days and just lots of the fun times I've had as well.
And you talk often in the book talk about Tim. What's his thoughts on it when you're on telly and you're saying this about him and this, that and the other? And what's the feeling? Do you check him out, see what he's up to before you...
Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. I mean, when I'm about to go live, I always look at my watch and think, where is he now? And I know that I've got to self-edit a little bit more if he's in the house. But to be honest, he does take it tongue-in-cheek. There's been times that I've, made everybody in my family a little bit cross, as we have all of it, because we forget that we're on the television, we're all together, and especially if we get heated about something. But he said, I know you talk about me all the time, but I think I have to be more worried when you stop talking about me.
And would it be the case then that he's out somewhere and people would be stopping him and saying, did you hear what Denise was saying yesterday?
The famous day, the day that he remembers, is going into the pub and people going, have you done a poo in the downstairs toilet today, Tim? Because I outed him about when you've got toilets upstairs, you shouldn't go to the one downstairs for your number twos, Paul. And I maintain that. And the emails prove that people agree with me, so there you go.